Oh, it's so dry! This is what being Ben Shapiro's wife must be.
There's never a desert drier than Ben Shapiro's wife's loins.
Oh man, sorry, right? For those of you who don't know, if this totally fails on us, the reason we just did that is because Mike said we're going to do a dry intro in case the song for our podcast is done by the time this uploads.
I hate you. That was awful.
That was an amazing pun. So
there was no pun. That was just a bad joke.
It was amazing. No, alright, so this is the We Hate Anime podcast. Mike's feeling a little bit under the weather psychologically, so I'm taking over this week. I am the Mothman. With me is the Frog Boy, the only one of us with gainful employment who worked for where he is.
What?
And Mike, my fellow slummer.
Yeah, I guess.
It's slummer time.
The reason I say that is Frog got his job because he went to college and he actually got a useful degree and got a job in STEM. And I'm proud of him. I legitimately am. I don't think I actually said that to you, Frog.
Thank you.
And I have my job because of nepotism.
I mean, that's the way 99% of people get their jobs in America, including our politicians.
Yeah, that's a little bit rough. I wish we were more meritocracy based, but at the same time, I wouldn't have my job if we were, so it's very much a double-edged sword.
I was about to say something really, really left, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pull it back.
Appreciate it. So yeah, we're the We Hate Anime podcast, coming at you again on our bi-weekly segment. Weekly, if you listen to Moth's Misunderstandings, I kill myself so we have a consistent upload.
Yeah.
Which we did miss a little bit, but I'll have. I mean, by the time you listen to this, I'll be up. By the end of today, I'll have this week's Mothman's episode up.
Yeah, and it's a little bit rough for me right now because we had this. I don't know why we made this staffing decision, but there's 7 of us at my job who work on equipment, and 2 of us are remote. So one lives actually closer to Seattle than he does Anchorage, and the other guy lives up like way up north. And so for some reason, of the 5 guys I have who actually like work in the state, 3 of them were out of town. And I've spent the last 3 weeks basically just crying in a little room trying to fix equipment that refuses to fix itself. So I feel bad. I'm sorry, guys. The upload on that one was late, and that's just because my actual work life has been so busy it's not even funny.
I mean, to be fair, you did get it in under the deadline. It's just I didn't have time to upload
3 hours before the deadline.
Which still works. I've gotten the podcast up in less amount of time.
That's true. By the way, I need to apologize to you, Mike. Like, editing an episode with 3 people is significantly worse than editing an episode with 2 people.
Yes. Like, especially when you have to rely on their audio qualities, and sometimes it's not the same.
You know, for the first 16 episodes.
Yeah.
But you know what? Have you had an issue with my mic at all lately? Yeah.
Nope.
It only took me almost a year, but we figured it out.
Yeah. But hey, we figured it out, and that's what's important.
Okay. So I wanted to... Yeah.
I was going to say, now we have episodes that are listen-toable.
Yeah, which sucks, because some of my best stories are on the ones where, like, the microphone is halfway up my ass.
Oh, speaking of listen-toable episodes, stay tuned. Once we have our intro done, I'm going to be doing a remaster of our best of episode, because I hate the audio on that episode, and I thought that the best of decade episode is probably our actual best episode, and the fact that I fucked the audio up pissed me off to this day. So
you still have the raw audio? I still have my raw audio if you need it.
Well, what's really funny, Mike, is I don't know if I talked about this the last episode we did, but the Moth's Misunderstandings where I had Eileen, and we talked about horror games and body shaming. Because horror games and body shaming. That was the one where I had to actually re-record the first 2 minutes of my audio because I had the gain set to like 20%, and after I boosted it like 3 times in Audacity, it sounded like, "This is Moth's Misunderstandings," and I was like, oh gosh. So I had to spend like an hour remastering my audio and re-recording it. So it's like I'm just having a conversation with somebody who's already dead. It's like P.S. I love you in podcast form.
I've never said it before, but I've had to do that before for the podcast.
Isn't that the worst?
It's really uncomfortable. In fact, there's a podcast I listen to called fuck, I can't remember the name of it. But in the episode of the podcast, the one of the guys lost all of their audio, and he just listened back to their audio and reacted to them. And the only reason I knew those because at the very end he was like, "Guess what, motherfuckers? I lost my audio. You didn't even know, psych."
Yeah, no, I could not handle that at all because I had to sit there. I'm like, okay, she spoke for 14 seconds, and then I said like what I said, but I said it more fluently because I'd had practice doing it, and it took me like 11 seconds. So I sat there, like, cut her audio, and drug it over, and I was just like, I hate this.
That's what imagine that,
but with two other
you did
people.
it for that, and then you also did it for every like little bit of audio, cutting out all the in-betweens. That's what I used to do for like the first like 5 episodes.
Well, we didn't have good chemistry the first 5 episodes, so that was a big issue.
I mean, fuck, we barely got good chemistry now. It's like fucking nuclear bomb going off every time we plug in our microphones.
Yeah, I apologize for that. I do think, though, that we should probably do things like play Fall Guys together a little bit more, because you guys don't know, but our entire podcast, like, we are not good friends, I would not say. Like, I hate to break the ice, but, like, I try to talk to these guys over the 2 weeks in between episodes, and they completely ignore me, and then we all get together and pretend we're friends for an episode.
That's not true. I'm not good at talking in general, but I consider you a best friend. And whenever you tried to down yourself on a recent Twitter post, the first thing I did was tell you to shut the fuck up, you bitch.
Oh, no, that wasn't me downing. That was just me making a joke about the fact that, like, you know, if you were to actually look at our podcast and do, like, a live session where we sit in front of a crowd and talk, like, you and Frog would be in, like, JCPenney $125 suits. And I'd just be the guy who shows up, like, munching a Toblerone in, like, sweatpants with a boner hanging out.
I feel like
I don't understand this analogy.
No. You guys would at least try, like, a $125 JCPenney suit.
What? Wait,
I couldn't.
I don't
not
understand.
Only could I not afford such a suit, but I also would not be able to fit into one, because I am a large gelatinous mass.
Is this an analogy or is this literal? I don't know.
Like Frog, if we're doing a live session, okay, we are going to the Texas Anime Con, the premier Southern Anime Con, okay?
Yeah.
All right? The only con where the actual incest in anime is played out in real life before you with real actors who are brothers and sisters. All right? What would you wear? Authentic incest. What would you wear, Mike?
Wait, what? This just shifted to me. I'm
Frog,
not prepared.
Frog, what would you wear?
Why is it incest themed?
We are doing a live action podcast. What are you wearing, Frog?
I'm gonna wear a hoodie and jeans.
Okay, Mike,
like I do every single day of my life.
I'm gonna wear an ill-fitting Choji cosplay from Naruto.
All right, you know what? Choji never got enough like respect because you realize he smashed the best in the group, right?
He did smash. Like, okay.
Him and Naruto smashed the best. Though, Shikamaru also got pretty lucky.
Wait, what? Are you implying that Choji fucked Naruto? What?
No. Choji got the chick from the village hidden in the friggin' racial diversity. Yeah, that one.
The village hidden in the blacks.
No.
She was. Whenever I first saw her, I was like, yeah.
Now, that being said, Hinata is absolutely a catch as well, but I think Shikamaru actually got the perfect wife for him.
You talking about Tamari?
Yeah, Tamari, because the way, like, have you ever watched Boruto and watched, like, how Tamari handles him and his son?
No, but, like, I can only imagine.
There's an episode where she kicks them both out, and they're just, like, sitting there on the porch. And, like, they're not even mad, because they're both so lazy that they're like, I guess this is fine, it's a warm night.
I absolutely love... The thing I love the most about Naruto is that there's accidental huge chemistry between Shikamaru and Tamari.
Well, there's just huge chemistry, period, in a lot of the characters.
Non-romantic chemistry, yes, but, like, specifically romantic chemistry. Like, as soon as they have that fight, you're like, oh, these two are gonna fuck, aren't they?
They absolutely are. So, okay, Frog showing up in hoodie and a jeans because he's the definition of, like, Zoomer nihilism. Or it's not even funny nihilism, it's just, this is sad.
I just
Mike is showing
what?
up in a Choji cosplay, and I'm showing up as Macho.
I just want to wear clothes. What's wrong with this?
Just wear a cosplay, Frog. It's a convention. Like, wear a frog onesie, like a frog kigurumi or whatever they're called.
Why?
I don't know, because you're Frog.
That's true.
Like, at this point, with how obsessed I am over the male physique, I should just, like, call myself, I don't know, Gotchi Moth.
Oh, you know what you could do, Frog? You because it would be normal clothes, you could show up in a Pro Jared cosplay and just harass a bunch of women.
Oh, that sounds based.
But only if they're younger than 17. Actually, that was a joke.
Yes.
From what I saw, Pro Jared did harass women, but at least he made sure they were older than 18.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if harass is the right word, but he definitely held a blog
solicit
for sex pictures.
is the right word, I think.
He's not Oni Scion, where he's got an entire forum dedicated to having minors post almost nudes of them.
Yeah. He's not a bad guy. He's just a bad guy.
No, he's not a bad guy. He's
I don't
just
even think
a
he's a
horny
bad
guy with power.
It's I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I think that's Frog's way of saying if I had a huge following, I might ask.
I would.
all my
Okay,
followers
no,
for
I'm not
nudes.
saying that.
Oh, so speaking of weird, huge following, I don't know if you guys know this, but my wife has gotten into plush making.
Pog.
And last night she woke me up in the middle of the night. This actually happened like 6 hours ago. She wakes me up because she's dieting again, and when she does that, she gets insomnia. And she's like, "Hubby, all plush makers look the same." And I kind of have to wake up because I'm not kidding. Like, I can send you pictures. She's actually gotten into plush making. And she shows me, like, she had saved, like, 5 pictures on her Facebook groups. And every single one of these women looked exactly like her. They're just white girls with a little bit of frecklage. And then they dye their hair black and they do the Cleopatra haircut. And they all wear, like, frumpy sweaters. Every single one.
That's a good aesthetic, to be fair.
No,
Plush makers
it's
sound
a
hot as
phenomenal aesthetic. There's a reason I am intimately in love with my wife. And it's pretty much
And it's
like...
all physical, baby.
No, there's mental and emotional. Like, she yells at me just right. Like, it is perfect.
She does beat me in the best way.
No. Like, never mind. I'm not going to go into it. But let's just say, like, I am absolutely happily married to my wife. And, like, there is definitely... She's got that, like, frumpy adult goth look where she doesn't have to dress up in a ton of leather and fishnets, but you can still tell that she's angry and dark. And you're like, yeah!
Angry and dark.
Well, dark emotionally. She's pale as hell.
Yeah.
But,
I got
yeah,
you.
so how's everybody's week going?
My week's pretty good, actually. I had fun, I think. I'm just having a good time. It's just been nice lately, I guess. For the most part. I feel like it's things are good. That's I don't know how else to say it, really. I don't have any like, special stories or anything to tell, but
So are you remote, or do you actually go to an office every day?
I go in. Like, unlike you guys, we actually have it kind of under control here.
Eat a dick.
So it's pretty safe.
Actually,
we actually have.
you know what?
For
I
the future,
watched...
to future-proof this episode, he is referring to the COVID-19.
Now...
We
Now,
have
to be
literally
fair, I
zero
did
active
watch an
cases in our
interview
province right now.
with Donald Trump, where he said we have the lowest numbers of everything if you compare us.
Lowest numbers of survivors, yes.
Florida man. Turns out Florida man is not invulnerable. COVID does kill Florida man.
That's so unfortunate. A real one.
I'm just waiting for Florida Man develops Gator-based superheroes.
But yeah, no, I think right now in Atlantic, Canada, which is where I live, we have like 5 active cases total. And and I have 0 in my current province. So
you actually go into a job, like you work a 9 to 5. Would you say that?
I have 8:30 to 5, but close enough. Yeah.
Yeah. And Mike, would you say you work basically a 9 to 5 as well when you're not working part time?
Yes.
Okay. I think. Did you guys ever play Alpha Protocol?
I have no idea what that is.
I'm aware of it.
Not aware.
Okay. Alpha Protocol was a game. It was supposed to be the next big Mass Effect, and the whole thing was that you were a spy instead of a commander in the future. And it's a spy intrigue espionage game where you always end up siding with the Russians because the Russian chick rapes you if you go with her, and it's pretty funny to watch. But it's the game is mediocre at best. Like it's so bad that you have to choose. Like, you're always good with pistols no matter what. But then you have to choose if you're good with shotguns, submachine guns, or assault rifles. And shotguns are marshmallow guns in that game. So if you're doing anything but assault rifles, you're getting murdered. But like it's so bad that if you don't level up a gun, you could be aiming right at a guy and shoot his buddy 30 feet across the walkway.
Oh, I love Mass Effect 1.
Yeah, right? But, so in Alpha Protocol, there's a scene where you're developing your character, and you have to be like, oh, what did you do here? And for some reason, there is one scene in that game that has always stuck with me. It's when you're developing your character, and you're choosing, like, what your backstory was, and there's a line where it goes, nothing has ever terrified you more than working a 9 to 5. And I think I'm supposed to work a 9 to 5. I think that's what my job is supposed to be. But, like, I don't think I've worked an actual 9 to 5 in months. I'll wake up at 7 a.m., I'll clock in, I'll go back to sleep, I'll wake up at then 10 a.m., and I'll see what's burned down while I've been asleep. And then I'll go and I'll work until, like, 8 o'clock at night, and then just come home. And then the next day, I'll wake up at 8 a.m., everything will be on fire, I'll go and I'll work until 9 o'clock that night, then the next day I'll just turn my phone off.
So basically what he's describing is the American dream.
It is my dream. It is my wet dream. It is my erotic, sexy wet dream. I'm an engineer who makes his own hours. That is so sexy.
Yeah, that sounds perfect. Actually, I wish I had the privilege to work my own hours. That'd be fucking base of shit.
Bruh, it's so easy. All you gotta do is be born into an affluent family where your father doesn't squander his wealth.
Nice. All right, cool. That sounds easy enough.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like kill myself to respawn real quick.
Mike, no, you're gonna end up in India.
You're gonna end up in Brazil, bro.
I don't know what's worse, India or Brazil.
Yes.
I've told my Brazil story time, right?
Oh yeah.
No idea.
Yeah, no, it's worse.
Oh,
to
yeah,
end
yeah,
up in
yeah,
Brazil.
We had an entire episode called "Why
Why
is
are you
we're
in
good.
Brazil? Oh man. So Mike, what about you? I know that if you don't want to talk about it, because I know like right now you're the equivalent of a freaking Papa Roach song mentally. So do you want to talk about how your week's been going?
I am void of numbness and apathy that can only be quelled by fast food that I can't afford because I don't have any money because I work a shitty job and I have bad thoughts and I desperately wish to improve this podcast and have no idea how to do so, and I am consumed by my own self-doubt.
You know, Mike, I actually had a thought just now. Have you considered working at Chick-fil-A?
They would take one look at me and assume I'm a Redditor and not hire me.
No, but like, here's the weird thing. As much as people like to crap on Chick-fil-A, it is like the Costco of fast food jobs. In fact,
have you ever talked to someone who's actually worked at a Chick-fil-A?
Yeah, I have. And they're like, I get paid $15 an hour, I get great wages, and I get a ton of free food. And as long as I don't want birth control, I get health care.
Every single person I know who's worked at a Chick-fil-A just hates their life even more than I do, and it makes me sad.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, because that atmosphere of like fake joy that they have to have is for someone like me. Like already, I go to work and I am the fakest, happiest person in the world. I got an Employee of the Month award back in 2015 just because they liked the way my voice sounded over the intercom. Like I kiss ass and take names and kiss babies and fuck myself up.
I thought you were gonna say babies again. Like I honestly was like, I kiss babies, and then I'm like waiting for him. Like, are you gonna say babies again, Mike? Are you gonna stay in vogue with all the elites right now?
Like. My job is to be super fake, and whenever the shop's open and I'm actually selling people shit, I get paid to blow air into people's asses and sell them things
and
they
their
don't
tires.
need, and I'm really good at it. Oh yeah, no, I sell people shit tires all the time because we need to get rid of them. Like it's just.
Oh yeah, because they have a shelf life. Believe it or not, kids, tires have a shelf life.
Yeah, they're made of rubber, and that shit cracks just like dry skin, baby.
Can you just punch a tire in half like a
You
big
could
old
if it was
pot?
dry enough.
Yeah, I've actually done it. Whenever a car comes in with old tires and you try and break them down, they oftentimes can
They just shatter.
You just punch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you're left with like the weird inner seam that they sew into the rubber.
Yeah, but it's stuck to the rim. And without the rest of the tire, that shit doesn't come off. So you have to spend like an hour clipping it.
Yeah, I know exactly what Mike's talking about. Though, Mike, have you ever, do you have Costco in Arkansas?
No, we have Sam's Club.
Okay, yeah, just as good. Wait. Does Sam's Club have good benefits? Because I know in Costco, here in Alaska in Costco, they start you at $17 an hour.
I don't know, but everything I've heard about the automotive guys there, they're like, it doesn't pay much more than you guys.
Yeah, but they get benefits, out the door benefits, just for working there.
I don't know.
And
I know we have a Aldi, and I've tried to get there a few times.
You don't have to do automotive though. You can go to Sam's Club and you could just be a shelf stalker and make more than you do as an auto guy at Walmart, man.
Yeah, but the reason I like working I can get a job pretty much anywhere. I have a shit ton of experience. The reason I like working in automotive, not even the department that I work in, but specifically
automotive
on cars, is because I don't have a lot of oversight. I absolutely can't stand managers because most of them don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Okay. So you would
make a new kind of
manager
manager that just doesn't tell you anything.
Yes.
Okay.
My favorite job I ever had, I worked for 2 months. They hired me on at a car dealership to be a parts driver, but this is back whenever I was 18, and I wasn't old enough to have their insurance yet. I had to be 19.
So they hired you until you turned 19, then fired you.
No, they hired me, but my birthday wasn't soon enough. So instead of just firing me out the gate, they're like, okay, we're not going to fire you. We have a part shed that needs organized. Just go and organize it, and we'll pay you while you're here. So for an entire 2 months, all I did was organize a really disorganized part shed, and I got paid $10 an hour, and I could do anything I wanted. And I've never been happier at a job. I could just 30-minute lunch, that's fine with me. I won't take any extra time. I'll just get right back to what I'm doing, and I'll listen to a podcast or some music or do something.
Yeah. I cannot tell you how fun my job is when the managers aren't paying attention. So I know exactly what you mean.
Oh, it's the best. Even right now, at work, it still sucks, but I put my headphone in my ear all day at work, and I'm just listening to stuff because they aren't paying attention because people are dying.
I think in my situation,
left and right.
In my situation, it's kind of the same thing, I guess. I mean, I used to work at Walmart as well as a cashier, though. As a cashier, you don't really have any choice. You have to give your entire attention to that.
Dude,
I do that too.
But
I could tell you some horror stories about working in sales. But yeah, go ahead, Frog.
No, I'm just saying. I think I already mentioned this, but my job's a lot more kind of freeform, I guess. It's more so just it's not contract work because I'm still getting paid hourly, but it's do this and then whenever you get it done, you get it done. Yeah, pretty much. Just get it done before fucking 8 years from now. But as long as you get it done, then you're good.
Yeah. So that's just checking on you guys, just making sure everybody's doing well. Sorry we got into a huge thing about, hey Mike, why do you suck at everything?
I suck at.
I mean, to be fair, I asked myself that question a lot, so it's a valid question to ask.
Jeez, I was just kidding, Mike. All right.
What about you? What about you, Moth? How are you?
I've already kind of talked about it. I wanted to transition because we have a huge topic that we want to talk about today. But before we get into that, I wanted to discuss just a Moth story time. I wanted to get Moth's weekly story time out of the way while I can still remember it. So back in 2003, Alaska was we're kind of a bad state. I'm not going to pretend we're not a horrible state up here in Alaska. We're ranked 47 in education, just above Alabama and Arkansas. We're pretty bad. All the A states are terrible on the education chart.
Hey, my high school was number 16 in the United States.
Actually, that is impressive.
Public institutions.
That's pretty impressive. But Alaska has always tried to improve our self-image. In fact, the current mayor of Anchorage is desperately trying to pretend he lives in San Francisco. We are desperately trying to not appear so horribly backwater as we actually are. So back in 2003, a bunch of people got a huge government grant because we used to have a really good senator called Sullivan, and that dude would get us so much money from the other states. Like every other state that gives more to the federal government than they receive was paying out Alaska. We are the ultimate welfare state, and I love it. And this dude got a massive grant for Alaska's future, and it was to build a technical charter. And it was such a big deal. It was like, we're only going to allow 400 students, and it's just going to be the best and the brightest students in Anchorage. And it was 7th through 12th grade, which is a terrible, terrible group. You should really do 9 through 12, because what was happening was, and this gets into it later, but like the 12th graders were sleeping with the 7th graders. It was a horrible situation.
Oh boy.
So they made this huge lottery, and they're like, it's going to be a technical charter, and like only 30% of kids are going to make it. Well, they made it a big deal when we all got in, but I guess what happened is a lot of parents felt threatened by the fact that it was going to be a lottery, and actually less parents applied for the lottery than kids who could get in. And so everybody got in who wanted to get in, but like the school was supposed to have, I think it was supposed to have 500 students, and it was supposed to be like 50 per grade level. Wait, let me do the math. So 300 students, 50 per grade level. And they didn't meet that quota at all. And in Alaska, we have this really weird law where if you get expelled from one school in the district, you get expelled from all the schools, but new schools don't count in this. What? So they only filled like 200 of the 300 potential kids. And then on top of that, the school district said, whoa, we're spending way too much money on you guys. You guys have to take in 200 extra kids. So they brought in 400 total kids, and 200 of them had been expelled from other schools in the state.
This just seems like a system that is built to create schools for bad students.
Yeah, it really was. So I'm not kidding when I said, like, we had 12th graders who should be felons and absolutely should be in prison, like, preying on 7th graders. Like, Jesus. Literally seeing 18-year-old kids, or 19-year-olds, because we had a ton of super seniors, just, like, taking 7th graders back to like the back lots during lunch break, and it was awful.
Is there an episode of the podcast where you don't talk about sex crime? Like,
nope. That is our continued theme, is sex crime, because everybody loves drama.
Everyone loves sex crime.
But we're going to learn about Moth committing a felon today that doesn't have to deal with sex.
I should hope not.
But I got in 7th grade, and then my parents pretty much realized, like, hey, this school really went downhill fast, so they moved me to like a normal school. In 7th grade, I had two friends. One was named Matt Ramirez, and the other one was named Raymond. And I don't actually remember what Raymond's last name was, but it was Matt and Raymond. And a lot of these kids actually lived right by this school, because the school was like dead center of a lower middle class area. And so it was perfect. A lot of the kids got in because their parents were like, you can just walk to school. I don't have to drive you, or you don't have to take a bus. And so a lot of the kids actually lived in the nearby neighborhood. And one day, Raymond, and I was a very socially ostracized kid, so like I never hung out with anybody. And one day, Raymond is like, "Hey, Moth." I'm like, "What's up, Ray?" He goes, "Hey, Matt wants to borrow my PS2. You want to come to my house and like help us get it?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, man!" And so we go to Raymond's house, and we get in, and like Raymond opens the door, and we get in, and we go to the house. And Matt and Raymond just start walking around the house, and they're like walking around. I'm like, "Hey Raymond, seeing as this is a lunch break, can I grab some food?" And Raymond's like, "Yeah, grab whatever you want, man." And so that was like 2003, I think, was the year like those Chef Boyardees, the quick microwave ones, like the small little cup ones. They had just come out, and this house had like 30 of them in the pantry. And so I was just eating Chef Boyardees. I ate like 7 or 8 of them. Ugh. And I was like, "Raymond, are you sure this is okay, dude? I've eaten like 5 of these already." And Raymond's like, dude, help yourself. Like, there's always plenty at this house. And we're like, so they get the PS2, and they're getting ready to leave. And I knew Matt lived nearby. I knew Matt lived like 2 blocks away. And we're getting ready to leave, and the garage door opens, and Matt and Raymond both get really scared looks on their faces. And I'm like, "Hey guys, what's up?" Like, we're going to leave out the back door. I'm like, "Well, we came in the front door, guys." He's like, "Yeah, we're leaving out the back." So they hightail it out the back door as the garage door is closing, and just like power sprint down the neighborhood as fast as they can, holding like a PS2 and a bunch of games. And later I realized that wasn't either of their houses. and that we had just broken into somebody's house and stolen a PS2. And I feel really bad.
Congratulations, you ruined some child's life.
I feel horrible, and the worst thing is, like, I also ate all that child's Chef Boyardee.
Yeah, exactly. Like that kid was in that car coming home. Maybe he was sick from stomach. He had a sick stomach, so his mom was picking him up. And he was like, "Oh man, I can't wait to play my favorite game, Jak and Daxter, on my PS2, and eat some good old Chef Boyardees. I hope there's plenty of the ravioli left. That's my favorite." And only to like walk into, oh, my PS2's gone. Oh no!
All his Chef Boyardee is gone.
I guess I'll comfort myself by eating some ravioli. Oh
no! That kid's only comfort was playing fucking Soul Calibur 2 with some ravioli in his pants.
Well, then I did that kid a favor because Soul Calibur 2 was best on the GameCube.
So you traumatized some poor kid's life for what? Just 7 cans of ravioli, you monster.
And we stole his PS2, yeah.
I mean, minor details. I'm sure this kid was a little fatty. He probably cared more about the ravioli.
Oh no, ravioli.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, if there was like back when those came out, they weren't cheap. They weren't like
they're like
$3
back in 2003.
Yeah, so like if they had like 30 of those in the pantry, like
I ate $27 worth of Chef Boyardee after we stole the PS2. It was like I felt horrible about it. I'm like, guys, we have to go back and return the PS2, and they're like, Moth, shut the hell up. Like, Moth, you stole $27 of Chef Boyardee. Are you really gonna go back with a PS2 and apologize? You're gonna throw up the Chef Boyardee on the porch?
Like, I like to think that at the time you're like, oh god, if I try to return this PS2, they'll figure me for the Chef Boyardee.
Yeah, so yeah, that's like the only time I've ever like legitimately committed a crime, and I didn't even know at the time what I was doing.
I just did public indecency mostly.
Yeah, I'm living in a constant fear that I'm just gonna end up getting on a criminal sex registry for streaking. It's coming.
Yeah.
I know it's coming. Like, it's only a matter of time before I go to prison for running down the street bare ass.
Does it happen on occasion? This is a normal occurrence?
Dude, I have just the cravings. Like, I got in trouble. I want to say like 3 days ago, I got home before my wife did because my wife was running to the mailbox to drop off her packages. And she came home, and the way my house is, like, we live in a very cookie-cutter house. So you have the garage, and then above the garage, you have, like, a porch. And then our porch is torn down right now because there's a ton of wood rot, and I have to fix it. Then there's a glass sliding door that walks out to the porch, and that's on the second floor. And I saw my wife coming in, and I sprinted to the door as fast as I could, and I just, like, pulled down my pants and spread my ass cheeks and just, like, pushed them against the door so my wife could see it as she was pulling into the neighborhood. But then as I was, like, looking back to laugh at my wife, I noticed, like, my Korean neighbor across the street from me was just staring at me with a look of disgust. So, I'm going to prison one of these days.
Fucking, you ghosted your Korean neighbor and fucking, you're a child. You are an actual baby.
Yeah.
So, this episode's actually really weird, guys. This is the first time we've actually set forth a goal and accomplished that goal.
Yeah, I mean, so to frame it a little bit, we are now going to enter the portion in which we talk about
anime.
Yeah, on this anime-themed podcast.
Just 33 minutes in, no big deal.
We are going to be talking about today the anime film by Satoshi Kon.
Madhouse.
And Madhouse to a lesser extent, but mostly Satoshi Kon. He is the director. It's called Perfect Blue, and there are going to be spoilers.
It's called Perfect Dark.
Oh, no, I'm starting it with spoilers. Like, just so you know, if you haven't seen Perfect Blue or want to see it unruined, like, you should do that now because I'm getting right into spoilers.
Okay,
it's an hour and 20 minutes long.
So we're starting now. Bye bye, everybody.
Okay, so this is all I remember about that movie is the fact that they gave away the plot halfway through. And they gave it away in a very perfect manner.
What do you mean by gave away the plot? And like what plot?
Well, okay, so when she's acting and she's an actress, and they do that scene where she's having like a psychological breakdown, and the woman who's acting like a doctor, because they're doing a scene where she's being interviewed by a doctor, it's all acted, and she pretty much tells the doctor the exact plot of the movie, except it's somebody else doing it in the real world. Where she's like, yeah, I'm a pop idol, I'm famous, and everybody loves me. And she, like, comes out of the room, she's like, yeah, she's mentally fragmented to handle the stress of life. In reality, she's a murderer and a serial killer. Like, and then at the end of the movie, you find out her manager was that person.
Yes.
Yes.
Like, that was the only point of the movie where I was like, damn, that was actually really well written.
This is kind of why I want to rewatch it and see, like, all the hints about that, you know?
There's not a lot.
Yes, there is. I already knew the twist going into the movie, and yeah, there's a lot.
Well, can we also talk about the fact that movie was entirely, like, mocapped with Benedict Cumberbatch as the main, like, actor for the mocap?
What?
Dude, did you not see how far apart everybody's eyes are in that movie?
Oh, okay.
He's talking about Mania and Rumi and how their eyes are far apart.
Everybody's eyes are, like, halfway across the damn screen. If you watch this movie in widescreen, you could probably, like, fit an airplane between their eyes.
Maybe.
No, it's it's actually really weird. Most characters have pretty normalized. It's pretty much only the characters who are not all there that have the weird fisheye.
Yeah, this is like a thing I was like wondering about. Like, why do all the insane characters have like weird eyes? It seems like,
and not only that, but like there's also a fixation on the eyes in the killings as well.
Yeah, does Satoshi Kon have a thing against like people with like large faces or something?
Just people with Down syndrome and mental disorders.
Yeah, fuck them. So basically, this movie it's essentially about a pop idol who wants to break away from being a small time pop idol and get into the world of acting. And her manager, who is a failed pop idol, which you only learn through incidental dialogue, so it's something that you could miss unless you weren't looking for it.
I actually didn't know that.
And the show itself is actually really cool in that the acting roles in which Mima, the main character, ends up getting in the movie, it reflects not only the psychological state. Mima. Rumi is the manager. Yeah. And not only the acting roles that Mima gets it reflects not only Rumi's like experience as a failed pop idol, but it like triggers within her like a fractured personality that causes this like stalking like murders, and it's really such a fucking mind trip, and that's something that Satoshi Kon is amazing at.
You know, all I could think about while I was watching the entire movie is like, so this is where Orochimaru got his start. That's all I could think about the whole time I was watching that movie, because her stalker is just Orochimaru.
I don't know who that is.
From Naruto.
He's talking about Orochimaru from Naruto.
Yeah, Orochimaru.
I don't know him.
Ichida, also known as Mimania, he's someone you see in the very beginning of the movie, and he is stalking her throughout the movie because he's obsessed with her. That character is really, it's just like normal stalker character. Like there's not much.
Oh yeah, he really is the ultimate normal stalker character, except he's also like, I know this word is not socially acceptable, but like when you hear the word mongoloid, that is what I think of looking at that man.
I think that is somewhat of a not a, I don't know. You can say troglodyte.
It's not an acceptable
that one's okay.
phrase at all.
Troglodyte.
I don't know. Troglodyte sounds worse in my opinion.
I mean, that's not a slur.
Troglodytes don't exist anymore. Like,
yeah, because they all get murdered by hammers.
Mongoloid, not offensive. Troglodyte, ooh, that's a little yikesy.
It's a little bit. It is. It's like
they're not real.
Oid is not an offensive word ender, but ite is. So if it was like trogloids, I'd be okay with that.
Okay, fine. Trogloids, I guess. That make you happy?
Yeah, this guy, this fucking Mimania, he's really fucking, like, he's insanely crazy, and throughout the entire movie, he's being fed information from Rumi, who's pretending to be the real Mima, and writing a blog about her fake life saying that she's the real one, and he's convinced he is the real one. It's
really weird. It's kind of cool though. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
None of this would have happened if she hadn't gotten an Apple II.
Yeah.
Fucking good product placement.
Yeah, really. For 1997. What did
I think it's kind of terrible product placement because it makes it look like it'll ruin your life.
Oh, 1977. I'm totally wrong here.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the biggest thing about the movie, I'm sure everyone's like kind of focused on, is just like how effectively it makes you wonder what the fuck's going on, or like, or more so like what reality you're actually in, like is whatever or not you're looking at is actually happening, or some other kind of facet, because that's kind of the idea, right? She's getting confused because like her acting role is very similar to what her actual situation.
And even the end of the movie, like I remember whenever me and Frog were watching it, at the very end of the movie, like, Mima goes and visits Rumi, who has had her mind completely fractured in like a care center. And she leaves, she gets into her car, and she grabs the mirror to adjust it to look at herself. And she says, "No, I'm real."
Yeah.
But, and I didn't catch this. I looked this up afterwards.
She like, says that because there's the nurses who saw her. Like, is that really that actress?
No. But you need to understand, when she says that, it's Rumi's voice that's coming out of her mouth.
Is it?
Oh, see, I watched the dub and it was her.
Oh, well.
Yeah, no, it's supposed to be Rumi's voice, and you can tell in the sub.
Maybe.
So we should make it clear right now. Frog and Mike watched the sub.
Yeah.
I watched the dub, not because I like dubs, but because I was working on other projects at the time, and I needed to be aware of what was going on without having to read.
It's fair enough.
I'm sorry. Like, you picked, like, the most, like, head-assery, you gotta, like, pay attention to what's going on movie that you requested to just watch passively.
I requested it because you guys wanted to do a One Piece movie, and I actually like One Piece.
Yeah, I was fine doing that.
I wasn't gonna sit through you guys bad-mouthing my favorite anime.
I probably would have liked... I like One Piece. What is...
Do you?
I've said it several times.
No, I don't know what you like. You like Fortnite and Eat Hot Chip and Lie.
Takis do be flaming, though.
They do.
I've literally said, like, whenever One Piece comes up and Mike says, "I don't like that," I go, like, "That's pretty good," and you go, "No." So I don't know.
So
I requested.
I don't love
I was
it.
like, "Hey, let's do One Piece," because Moth likes it, so he'll have things to say.
Yeah, I was excited to watch it. Actually, I was looking forward to that one because I like shonen movies. They're fun.
Well, here's the problem with One Piece. It's the same issue with, like, the Dragon Ball movies, where the Dragon Ball movies hold no canonic bearing on the rest of the series. I guess technically Strong World is a canonic movie. Like, it actually has a place in the One Piece universe when it happens because Oda wrote it.
Well, that's kind of ideal because we're watching it without much context because we don't really...
Yeah, but at the same time, like, shonen movies exist to sell DVDs and sell merch. Like, the whole Brawly movie, like, yeah, it's nice that Brawly and Gogeta and Vegito are now canon.
I hate you so much.
But like, I
fuck you.
I love the Brawly movie. It was great.
Yes, it is. It's amazing.
But like, at the same time, these movies are meant for fans. It's more fan service.
Although I think that one actually is canon.
No, Brawly movie is canon.
Yeah.
But like, you have to like One Piece to watch the movies. It's like, there's one movie that has actual value as like an artistic piece, and that's like the Island of Dr. Moreau or something. It's the anime equivalent of the Island of Dr. Moreau, and it's because it was animated by the guy who did Summer Wars. The guy who directed Summer Wars directed this. And so, like, it has a lot of good value as, like, an artistic piece, which is weird for One Piece. But you have to like One Piece. I'm not going to have you guys watch a One Piece movie if you don't all love One Piece and know what it's about.
That's kind of the idea, though. It's like, let's
learn
about One Piece. We can watch One Piece.
I've read 100. I've not read. I've watched 100 episodes of it. I'm familiar with it.
So you know 10% of One Piece.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? Fine. Next time we do something, we can all watch Strong World.
Sure,
because it has my favorite costume design for Frankie ever. Like, it's a great episode or
Sounds
movie.
Good. I'm actually.
You've heard it here
I was
first, folks.
Yeah.
Next week we will talk about One Piece Strong World, but for now, let's talk about Perfect Blue.
So I watched the dub though. And just the audio quality in the dub cracks me up because it goes from like the main girl, what's her name? She's not Rumi, she's Maru. Mima. Yeah, Mima. Mima, her audio quality is so sterilized, it's not even funny. So you have the background audio, because I guess they take a lot of the background audio from the actual dub, the Japanese dub, and they include it, but then they have her record over it, and it's like she's talking in a sterilized room. So she'll be, and I know what recording booths are supposed to look like, but she'll be standing there having a conversation, and you'll hear like cars going on in the background and everything. And she'll start talking, and all the background noise like goes away. And it's this like crystal clear, crisp, emotionless, like, yeah, I'm now an idol. I don't do those old things. Or I'm an actress. I don't do those old things I used to do anymore because I want to be taken more seriously in the spotlight. That is exactly how she delivers her lines. And then like... And the audio quality is a little bit okay with her. Like, she is probably the most acceptable, even though she's completely sterile. Actually, Rumi does better, in my opinion, than she does. Rumi is way better than her. But then, you get, like, the random background characters, like background light guy number 3. And you can hear the fact that he's doing it on, like, a $10 microphone. It's like, yeah, we gotta get out of here. And you're just like, what is going on? Like, there's tons of background noise. Like, you can hear a train going on in the background. Like, it's just like, holy crap, this is like worse than hentai dubs.
Yeah. I mean, I'd have to watch it. I'm not sure how, like, good the dub is in terms of, like,
it's god awful.
Conveying the information. But if it
is on par with every 90s dub.
Yeah, sounds about right. Wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, so just so you know, the original anime came out in 1997, and we got the dub in 99.
Yeah, which is it's pretty wild that the audio is like has that issue with the dub, because I've never heard the dub. I might watch it like Frog has, not the redo of the dub. I feel like if I watch the dub, I'd do the older version.
Well, like, the audio mastering is all, like, it's everywhere. I pulled the Blu-ray off of Nian.si because I'm a filthy pirate. I'll admit that right now.
I mean, is there anywhere that actually has it legally right now?
I don't know. You can get it on Amazon Prime for $2.99.
Right Stuff, no, not Right Stuff. Someone remastered it and you can get it. But it comes with a new dub.
Oh yeah, but by the way, like, you know in the very beginning when those 3 guys are like standing around talking about how this is like Cham's last performance and whatnot?
Yes, Heckler 1, 2, 3, and 4.
No, not those guys. The other 3 at the very beginning, where it looks like a paper mache like South Park episode, because whenever they talk, they like pop out of the foreground.
Oh yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
They shook up and down like popsicle sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that audio was awful. Like, just sitting there, because you have the background of everybody talking, and then those guys are talking, but they're not talking any louder than the background. You're supposed to be louder than your background. And these guys are like, yeah, here's gonna be Cham's last show. And, like, in the background, you're just hearing, like, cheering and everything, and you can't hear what these guys are saying. The audio mixing is so bad.
It's actually, like, it's I don't know, like, because I don't have any like context for it. But I'm willing to believe you about something like audio, so I'm not gonna push like any kind of issue. But I think it's so fucking weird to think about how there's this movie that's really iconic. Obviously, we're talking about Perfect Blue. I don't know why I feel the need to clarify that. And people really loved it, and then the dub is just so fucking bjorked. It's fucking wild.
Wait, we're talking about stuff. Perfect Blue?
Yes.
I thought we were watching La Blue Girl.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of bjorked, have you guys ever heard of Ricardo Lopez?
Yeah, of course, the meme. Oh, by the way, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Where are you going, Mike?
So Ricardo Lopez is not what you think it is. I'm not talking about the meme. I'm not talking about Ricardo. Ricardo Lopez was a famous stalker from the 90s who stalked Bjork.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever heard about this, but it was pretty widely publicized at the time. He was a really racist, really weird guy who was obsessed with Bjork, and he was the first guy to like do a vlog, except he didn't have anywhere to upload it to. So he just had hundreds of VHS tapes inside of his house. And it was just about his obsession with Bjork. And when Bjork started dating a black dude, he got really upset. He started sending her like messages threatening both of them, and eventually tried to mail her an acid bomb.
Oh, nice. Now I'm remembering.
This all happened in 1996.
Oh.
And why? And the whole affair ends with him turning on his camcorder, saying, "Soon you'll be dead, and I will be dead too." And he blows his brains out against a canvas as an art piece.
It's pretty good. That's pretty good performance art, if you ask me.
I mean, it would be, except I mean, I don't want to call it. The dumbass completely misses the canvas. In like a final poetic moment of a total failure of a life. But this dude, like this all happened in 1996. I mean, well, the years leading up to 1996. And Perfect Blue came out. I don't know if it was inspired by the Bjork acid attack event, which is basically what it's called. But it only came out a year later.
Let me take a look here. 1996.
It's pretty wild that, and you can find, because I looked into the Ricardo Lopez event because I just find it so interesting. Like, looking into his life it's very sad. But going into it, like, there are some interesting parallels between it and Perfect Blue, and how like deranged people become whenever they're like obsessed with someone. Much in the same way that Rumi literally convinces herself that she is the real mommy.
Yeah.
Mima.
And Mima, sorry. And it's so like that fucking, I love that the scene whenever Rumi is chasing Mima throughout Tokyo,
and she keeps switching.
And like there's this great thing where you're seeing like the ghost of the fake real, like Mima chasing her, and then like you'll see reflections, and there's just,
and it's just Rumi like heaving ass as like really an overweight like 40-year-old, just like
It's really
so
cool.
fucking and there's that great scene where she's about to stab her and kill her, and Mima just grabs her wig, and she reverts back to Rumi for a second.
Can we talk about umbrellas for a second? And the fact that no umbrella I have ever seen in my life that was made after 1957 will have a sharp point like that.
Posted about this.
Yeah, like, well, no, like, there's just that whole chase scene. I was actually paying attention during that point, but like, I was laughing my ass off where they break the window and she goes through the window, and the whole time they're gonna pull a ghost. They're gonna pull a ghost. And sure enough, she straight up gets impaled on the glass. And I was like, hell yeah, they did it.
Yeah. I mean, as for
By the way, for those of you who don't know, Ghost is a Patrick Swayze movie with everybody's favorite, what's her name?
Whoopi Goldberg.
Whoopi Goldberg, thank you. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a movie which is like pretty whatever. And then in the last 5 minutes, a dude just gets guillotined by a glass window. And it makes zero sense with the rest of the context of the movie. But, yeah, so that was cracking me up, because, like, they actually pulled a ghost. Holy crap.
It was good.
I adored, like, there's so much great imagery in the movie. There's like, one of my favorite, like, shots is at the end of that chase. After Rumi stabs herself on the glass, she backs up, because she's not dead. She just
hurt herself. Dude, it is so hard to kill a human being by stabbing them, just so you know.
And
you have experience with that,
she's standing in the street, the truck's coming at her, and the way it's framed, the headlights of the truck almost turn into angel wings as if she's accepting her death. And
or basking in the sunlight of
fan cams.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or basking in like the fan cameras too. Either one.
And then Mima's just like, nah, bitch, and just fucking yeets her ass out of there.
It's very good.
I love the fact that Mina gets isekai'd, and that's when her mental breakdowns start happening, is when she gets hit by a truck.
Yeah, actually.
I mean, her entire movie was mental breakdown.
Yeah, but it escalates from there.
But what's great is like the time skipping and her insanity and her mental anguish starts to happen after she gets isekai'd, and I was just laughing my ass off about that.
Wait, what? Well, yeah. I forgot about
she gets hit by the truck, and then all of a sudden she just starts like jumping around, like she doesn't know where she is anymore. I'm like, did she really just get isekai'd?
Well, what I like about like that, it really shows like when you're in like a broken mental state, like it can feel like days are repeating, and it actually visualizes that in a way that is still interesting and not like overbearing. Like it only does it 3 times, and the last time it actually does start changing things, and the second time she even questions, has this happened before? And it's like, no, I just came over yesterday. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's, you know, I feel bad. I feel like if I watched this movie, if I was a grown-ass adult at the age of like 23, 24, whatever, even my own age, and I watched this movie in 1997, I feel like that movie would have been way more impactful than it is for me right now. Because I've seen, and probably because this movie inspired it all, like, I've seen a ton of this stuff already in my life, so, like, when it was happening, I was just like, I mean,
I don't know. I thought it was very effective.
Yeah, Satoshi Kon's work is, he relies a lot on dream logic, which is why I think most of his stuff, like, holds up. Satoshi Kon's easily, like, my favorite director, even though this is actually the first time I saw Perfect Blue. But I love everything else he's made so much that, like, I was sure I would like it, and sure enough, I do. But everything after this is when it gets crazy. Like, there's Paranoia Agent, which is
Paranoia Agent, I need to watch that. I've tried to watch it, and I always get bored by the second episode.
I watched, like, 2 episodes a long time ago, and I didn't stop because I was bored. I stopped because I was watching with friends at the time, and they continued without me, and they finished, so I just kind of dropped off.
So, fun fact, he did the original Part 3 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yes.
Oh, no, he did Tokyo Godfathers. I ain't watching this.
Yeah, he did. Well, Tokyo Godfathers he made because someone was like, you can't make, like, a movie that appeals to the masses, and he just, like, clapped his hand and said, bet, and made, like, this kind of schmaltzy, it's his most normal movie. It's probably my favorite of his movies, just because it's really interesting.
It's perfectly crafted.
And also, like, it's a movie that has a religious message that isn't overbearing, which I really appreciate. But he also did Paprika, which that was his last movie before his death. In fact, I think it came out after he died.
Wait. Did he do Memories?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say, because Memories, that's the one about the spaceship that's, like, somewhat sentient. And no. Okay, I was like, I love that one. That one's great.
Satoshi Kon's works, like, he deals with dream logic, but it's still, like, with relatively grounded characters, typically. Like, even at the, I'm not gonna spoil it, but by the end of Paranoia Agent, when the dream logic breaks down, like, it's, even that surrealist bit is still, like, pretty well grounded in the reality that was created within that show. And Paprika is probably his closest to sci-fi, because it actually has, like, sci-fi technology in it.
Yeah, it lets you enter people's dreams to help them.
Mm-hmm. And then a terrorist gets a hold of it and uses it to kill people.
Nice.
It's a really fucking cool movie. Like, that movie. If you watch Perfect Blue and you're like, wow, that was a trip, but I'm not done tripping yet. Cue up Paprika, man. You'll have a gas.
Gas? I don't want to fart, dude.
Hey, I avoided something. Be proud of me. I avoided saying something.
But I don't.
My issue with Perfect Blue is.
You didn't watch it.
No, I did watch it. And I think the dub kind of robbed a lot for me, so I'll give you guys credit there. Because in the dub, I think they actually changed the ending. In the dub, she leaves the hospital, and as she's leaving the hospital, the 2 nurses are looking at her and are like, do you think that's Mommy, the actress? She goes, no, that's definitely a lookalike. There's no way that's Mommy. And then she gets in her car and she's like, of course I'm Mommy. Who else would I be? And drives off.
That's basically the same thing, yeah. It's like...
Okay.
It just, she said, I'm real, is what she said specifically in the Japanese, at least the subs we read.
Yeah.
Basically the same thing, though. Yeah, that's about right. If what Mike's saying is true and it actually was supposed to be Rumi's voice, that's interesting. That would actually cause even more confusion for me, because I'm like, are we still out of the nightmare yet? I have no fucking idea at that point.
I will say that is one of the few movies where, even though they clearly said, like, hey, we are acting a rape scene, this isn't actually a rape scene, and you actually pause the rape scene halfway through because you have to do stuff like that.
And even one of the actors is like over her and he's like, hey
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, this is not...
like,
I still ended up skipping like the last minute of the rape scene because I was like, man, this is just... I don't need this. That's was uncomfortable.
Not that like was, that... It was so uncomfortable for like on so many different levels. Like,
yeah, it was horrible.
It was very realistic, but also they stopped like twice and be like, okay, we're repositioning. Okay, go.
And everyone's like, you're okay, Rumi, right? Like everything's okay. Like our mommy,
Mima,
and then
Mima, yeah.
And then we got to, and this is actually something that I don't think this is confirmed. But this is, I believe, the moment where Rumi's mind shatters.
Yes, because she sees it happen and leaves.
I think because the drama that is in the show is basically what happened with Rumi, and it's like hinting at that. I think that when Rumi was an idol, she was sexually assaulted.
They tell you that.
I don't remember this.
Yes, they tell you that because when she's doing the interview with the doctor, that is literally a looking glass of Rumi's life when she's interviewing.
Oh, but that's not. It's not confirmed.
You literally see Rumi's mind shatter while she's watching the film. You see her mind break. Like she goes, like her eyes go off in different directions, and she's like, and then leaves.
No. When she leaves, that's whenever the rape scene's happening.
Yeah, exactly. But, like, that causes her to shatter, and then, like...
Yeah, but like, it could be that... It could be, like, she's, like, seeing what happened to her in her own mind, or it could just be, like, the person she's obsessed with is getting sexually assaulted, and I can't separate myself from fiction and reality anymore. Like, it could be many different things. I was just shooting out some headcanon there, because I think... That's a cool idea.
No, I could believe it. With how, like, weird it is, I could absolutely believe it.
Oh, 100%. That's the cool thing about analyzing things. You just do things that are believable, and it sounds cool.
It works,
just make something up. As long as it sounds right, it's probably
works.
fine. This, but not ironically.
But yeah, like, that is Perfect Blue. Like, it's this great... exercise in tension building.
Yeah, it's actually very cool.
I actually didn't feel tense at all watching it. And once again, maybe this is because I watched the English dub.
I don't know. I thought it was really tense. I think maybe tense is the wrong word. I think just because yes, it was tense in some parts, but I feel like I was more so like just lost is maybe the word I would use. Is that too like vague of a term? I don't know.
I could understand being lost.
Like it's not that I didn't understand the going ons. Yeah. I mean I didn't understand them like clearly, but like I understood what was going on like at a surface level. It's more so just like I was lost in the idea that like I'm not sure what is happening, or more so what is I guess that's what really struck me is mostly just the idea. It was very effective in showing like, dude.
I'm used to Satoshi Kon and how he directs things, so like it wasn't... I could follow it pretty clearly for me, but I could definitely understand why someone would be confused watching it.
But it was
even me, like, I knew the twist going into it, and I can't not know it now. So even then, maybe without that extra bit of knowledge, I still would have been, like, I would have had a similar confused experience.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I when I say like it's tension, like there's so much tension in it, like specifically like throughout the entire movie, it's not tension's not even really the right word. Like you said,
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, it's like I'm not really sure if there's a proper word for it, but it's more so like anxiety or something, or discomfort, or some kind of like it's just like some kind of welling emotion that I can't really put a finger on, but it's there and it's very cool.
If it was real tension, then that scene where Rumi stabs herself, as soon as she stabs herself, you should feel a release, because at that point the threat is basically over. But it's still there. You're still uncomfortable because Mima is just so like psychologically destroyed by even what's happening in front of her. Like, her life is ruined. Like, if she was a real person to this day, like, I would believe that she probably would ending up exactly like Rumi. In fact, I think if it's true that the last line is spoken in Rumi's voice, I think that's what it's implying.
That her life is ruined?
No, that she's gonna end up becoming just like Rumi.
Yeah, it's... I actually think the part of the movie where I felt the worst was actually before everything started to ramp up. So she quits being an idol and she starts doing acting. And I love it because it became a meme, I want to say, in the mid to late 2010s, or even the mid 2010s, or even the late 2000s, early 2010s. It became a meme in America television where it's like, all actors have to get their start as a dead hooker on CSI Miami. But in 1997, that's exactly what she did in the show, where she gets her start on a crime drama. And
she gets her start with one line, and it's just like,
who are you?
Who are you? That's it.
Yeah, honestly, I genuinely enjoy that movie. I truly did, even though I was kind of bored by a lot of it. But that point at the very beginning, where it's just showing like the fact that one of her directors cares about her, but only cares about her because she's living like vicariously through her, and the other one is doing whatever it takes to keep the agency alive, and her two friends that she basically carried from the start are now doing well without her. Like that. Yeah,
that's
is when
also
I felt the
that's
worst.
a big anxious thing too. Like oh, we're fine without you. Like fuck.
Well, and they get to do a podcast. Like they just do great the moment she's gone.
Yeah, it's. I mean, oh man,
idols having like radio spots is pretty common in Japan.
Yeah, I know, but like it's less so that, and more so the idea that like we're better off without you. That's a feeling I don't associate.
I like how Perfect Blue, like, it implies that without like having the moment where they say it.
Oh yeah, no, they don't need that because it's just there. It's just like also, kind of stacked on the emotions that are already like in the themes of the thing.
I also want to say, when it comes to the art and animation in this movie, it's kind of ugly.
Animate? No.
Yeah,
no, you're dumb.
Yeah, like we were just talking about earlier, the characters in the beginning that animate like
yeah, like sure, there's a couple little weird things, but on the whole, this movie's really good looking.
Yeah, it's. I would say it's okay. It's passable.
It's not like amazing
as an anime.
Oh
movie.
yeah. Like it is completely, like, quality wise, because it's Madhouse, middle of the road.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't. There's no like standout animation moments. There's standout direction moments.
Yeah, I know, but that's more the part of like the storyboarding and shit. Which is really good.
Like,
I think actually I do want to talk a little bit about like some of the cool like transitional shots that are done, especially near the beginning. Yeah, the beginning has some really good ones too. For example, like just like where the movement of one shot of Mima or something will kind of transition subtly into the next shot of her on stage, but it'll be like the same direction. It's some pretty basic editing stuff, but done in a way that it kind of makes it seem like switching between these two scenes is kind of almost seamless despite it being hard cuts. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. And it even like implies like a dualistic nature of the character themselves. How like they have like
yeah, exactly. They have their own personal life, and then that personal life gets destroyed because where'd it go?
Yeah, like man, this movie is genuinely fantastic.
I liked it. I wouldn't say it's a red line or.
No,
I would say it's. I think. No,
what
let me
is?
rephrase this. Like I said before, if I had seen this in 1997, this would be phenomenal. But I've seen, like, since then, I've seen, I've seen so many psychological horrors and stuff that deal like this. I mean, Black Swan was inspired by this.
Yeah.
I don't know that
100%.
So it's Black Swan with Keira Knightley.
I'll
or is it Natalie Portman?
Natalie Portman.
Yeah, okay, there you go. Same woman, but different movie.
Different name.
Different name. No, they were literally stunt doubles for each other at one point.
I'll have to watch it. I don't know that one, but
yeah, but
I'll get back to you on that.
But yeah, like I seen Black Swan, so like it's a great movie for its time. But I think if you watch it now, you'll see like, and especially if you're a movie buff like me, you're gonna see a lot of just like, oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah,
and so it kills the magic that it's so old.
I mean, I don't agree, but it's fair.
That's kind of how I feel about The Matrix, so I do understand.
Yeah, like, you've seen people dodge bullets. Like, friggin' Britney Spears did it and break the ice. Like, we've seen everything in The Matrix.
Maybe we'll watch it someday, But I would be interested to see what you think about Paprika, because Paprika was not as influential, and it was the most unraveled Satoshi Kon ever was allowed to get.
It's like super crazy.
That movie's insane, and like Frog, if you were ever confused about what, like, that movie goes even more insane.
I mean, it's cool because it's directed in a way where it's confusing as it goes on, but once it ends, it's pretty clear. It's very cool.
If we want to talk about an unhinged movie, I have a movie I absolutely want to watch with you guys in real time.
Yeah.
Like, I will actually get into a room and we will watch the movie together.
Yeah, dude.
And it is called Tokyo Gore Police.
Oh god, it sounds like a B movie.
Oh, it's. I'm just gonna send you one picture while we're on audio that you can look at, and you can tell me what you think.
Okay.
All right, ready, guys? Here we go.
Oh no!
Don't say what it is, but we're gonna see it.
Oh, this is cancer for an audio podcast, but I don't know.
This is gonna be amazing. Let's do it.
That's a fucked up Power Rangers villain.
That is. But the thing is, it was on Netflix when Netflix first started.
Based?
That's how I saw it, is like, I was on Netflix, I was like, oh boy, some woman's crocodile vagina just ate a man.
That sounds pretty fun, actually. Maybe we should watch this.
For a second, I thought it was going to be on something like Mad Bull, which is something we should probably watch as well.
I thought it was going to be some Sharknado bullshit, but...
Mad Bull? What's that?
That's a classic 80s action anime that's like completely and totally insane. Like, there's a scene, I think, in
which... wait, it's this guy with the grenades.
Yeah.
Where he's got, like, grenades tied to his pubes.
Yes, it's that scene.
Yeah.
That I was about to say, there was a scene with grenades and genitalia.
That's like the only scene anybody knows from Mad Bull.
But it's just as cool as that scene, from what I hear. We'll watch that someday for the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Now that I'm like more dedicated to actually watching stuff for the show. Mad Bull 34.
But yeah, that's been Perfect Blue, directed by Satoshi Kon, everybody.
And we all watched it.
Yeah, we actually did.
We somehow all enjoyed it as well, which I was surprised by.
I mean, I had two predictions when we finished the movie. I was like, I bet Moth's either going to call it pretentious or he's going to enjoy it mildly. So I was kind of right here. I would
say I would have enjoyed it a lot more if we were watching this in 1997. But like I said, I've seen way too many movies.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely a bit outdated, but I don't think it actually has any problem with that. I know we already got into it, but for the most part, good movie. I don't love it, but I thought it was very good, and that's
yeah. I thought I also wouldn't say I know I understand why it was big. I understand why people love it. Having seen like Satoshi Kon's other works that I think are better,
I think it was very effective though.
I think it's very good, and if you've never seen Satoshi Kon,
pretty good intro.
You should probably start here.
So yeah, it's a great intro for him.
Well, there you go. That's my intro.
Everything else just goes crazier.
I guess I'll start watching some more
Satoshi Kons.
Who's the guy who did Summer Wars too? Because I
didn't want to correct you when you said it, but it's Mamoru Hosoda.
It's Mamoru Hosoda.
What did he make other
Hosoda.
than that?
Oh yeah, Mamoru Hosoda. Let's see here. Well, he did, like I said, he did the One Piece movie.
Yeah.
He did Boy and the Beast and Wolf Children, dude. Yeah. Beast Children. That's one of those movies where it's like, gosh,
I'm surprised you like that movie.
I think I like that movie the most because it's a little bit subversive in the fact that one of the kids actually gets to return to the wild. Like, the mother actually goes, okay, you're a wild creature. Go be wild. I did not expect that to happen.
Parenting.
Parenting's pretty cool.
Dude, that woman's a single mom in Japan. Her life was over.
Yeah. That's not... You're not going to get nowhere hoeing like that.
Yeah, okay, so it's One Piece, Baron Omatsuri, and the Secret Island. I love that movie, and that would be the perfect One Piece movie if Frankie was in it. It's like the movie that came out right before they recruited Frankie, which sucks because they have Robin.
Okay, which one do you want to watch for the next? Which one do you recommend watching for the next?
So here's my problem. It's very much on the edge of a sword here, because I believe Baron Omatsuri is the best One Piece movie. Okay. Because it is so far gone. Like, it feels the least like a One Piece movie, and in that way it's kind of refreshing.
Okay.
but I would say Brave World, or Strong
is
World,
more
I think is what it's
representative.
called, is more representative of One Piece, and it's the only one that Oda has written.
I see. Okay, so here's
do you
the
want to see
question
an
we have,
artistic
then.
masterpiece, or do you want to see a true One Piece movie?
Here's the
And
question
thing
I have
is-
for you, basically. Do you want us to get introduced to One Piece as like, and why it would be cool, or do you want us to see a really good One Piece movie?
See, I think
We can do both.
If I was given the choice,
over time, maybe
I
not
would
like
say,
maybe not in a row, but
yeah. If I was good, actually, I almost feel like we should watch them in a row just so we can talk, so you can see why I'm so conflicted.
maybe
on
if we
this.
do one episode of both, maybe that's not the 2 episodes of One Piece in a row, but if we do 2
Well, and
movies
it's-
for an episode,
I mean, fuck. Do you just want to watch both movies before the next podcast?
yeah, I can do that.
I mean, I could do that again, but it's the thing is, like, Strong World had, and I hate to say this, but it had probably the most merch lines based on it out of any One Piece like individual point in time, because I think they do costume changes like 4 times in that movie, and that's always a treat in One Piece. Is they never wear the same costume from arc to arc.
That's cool.
Like, you always know the fact that Luffy wears a red shirt and blue pants, but
And the hat.
he only has done that, I think, in like 2 or 3 arcs. There's a lot of arcs where he's running around in like black pants and a yellow vest, or like a freaking Hawaiian t-shirt sometimes.
It's neat.
But yeah, it's the movie. Strong World is definitely the most representative out of One Piece, and it happens right before Luffy discovers Haki or Gear 4 or the training arc. So it's a lot of like what made One Piece so lovable before it became Dragon Ball Z and with pirates.
Yeah.
But like I said, the island of Baron blah, 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 that one is definitely an art piece in and of itself. It's weird to call a One Piece movie an art piece.
So how about?
Okay.
I mean, well,
So
Sure.
I looked up the name so we can say it clearly for anyone listening. Before the next episode, of the We Hate Anime podcast is going to be over, One Piece Strong World and One Piece Baron Umotsuri and the Secret Island.
Yes, but like, here's the thing: if you even look at like any of the pictures, like the still screens of the mysterious island, none of it looks like One Piece. Not a single piece of it.
I'm interested.
Like,
Would you recommend watching Strong World and then Omotsuri?
yes, because Strong World feels like One Piece, but then you got to realize Omotsuri came before they completed the crew.
That's what we'll do then.
So
We'll watch that
Frankie's
first.
not
and then,
there, and Frankie's not there, and Brooke's not there.
So we'll watch the Strong World first. We'll talk about Strong World first next episode, and then we'll also
And heck,
this next
that'll
the
be a
next
great
one.
thing because, like, in talking about Strong World, we can talk about One Piece in general.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and I don't actually know if, because I don't read the manga. I'm not one of those people. I don't read. I don't know if Jinbei, I think he's a member of the crew right now. I'm not sure, but the core crew pretty much since Thriller Bark has been everybody and Brooke.
I don't
And
know
so
most of their
I-
names, so I can't really.
Well, there's a lot of talk of like, is Law now a crew member? Is Jinbei now a crew member and all this stuff? It's like,
I'm sure
like,
we'll get the
Strong
idea.
World is the staple crew and everybody he has. The mysterious island is everybody but Brooke and Frankie, which sucks because I love Frankie. He's my favorite crewmate.
Yeah, couldn't tell.
Best boy.
He's a
Which is funny.
musclehead that is obsessed with getting big. So yeah,
And drinking cola.
And being Robomaster.
Which what's really funny to me is my wife's favorite character is probably Zoro.
Zoro's cool.
Well, Zoro in the most recent arc, there's always been this weird thing with Luffy where every island Luffy goes to, he adds a new woman to his harem. And here's the thing. Luffy is pretty much an asexual character because he's a shonen protagonist.
Yeah.
So he, like, girls, like, always fall over him and are like, oh, I love you so much, Luffy. And he's like, do you have food? Well, what's interesting now is they're in the land of Wano, and Zoro is a samurai. Like, he's always been a samurai. And the land of Wano is, like, Japan. It's very much One Piece's representation of Japan. And so Zoro is slaying pussy left and right because he's seen as, like, a strong samurai.
based.
It's actually really funny. And he's just as asexual as Luffy, if not more so. But, like, it's so funny now to watch this big, strong, muscular dude who's never interacted well with women in the entire show and just have women, like, throw themselves at him.
That's like No, I don't. Never mind. I don't have an analogy. Never mind.
I was gonna say it's like Moth, Real World. That's what it's like.
Yeah, you just
it's Dr.
walks
Gerbils
outside,
world.
and there's a pussy outside, and you just kind of like, there it is.
He goes. Pss, 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 pss,
Come here. Yeah.
Let me grab you.
I'm actually, I do like One Piece. I think it's a lot of fun. So I kind of want to see.
Well,
how it gets
here's
later
a gift.
on. This is more going to be like later on.
That just
in the
looks
story,
so. It like we're gonna watch this, but like this looks so different from the rest of One Piece.
Oh,
like,
that looks fucking cool.
Yeah, it looks terrifying.
Oh, that looks fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's from the island. That's why I want to watch
we'll watch
Islands,
that. Yeah, we'll watch that. We'll watch both.
All right.
It'll be good. It'll be good. Everyone at home, watch both. You have 2 weeks. Come on.
So, that being said, let's do a quick wrap up for what's been going on. I recommend watching God of High School now because God of High School, it finally got interesting. I hate to say it like that, but like it finally started picking up. I think they pushed through the first 5 episodes really fast.
I don't
because
agree.
now they're establishing the plot for 6 episodes.
I honestly couldn't give a fuck about the plot. It just looks. I just like the characters and the animation is really fucking great.
I really like that scene in the 5th episode where it showed the 2 main characters, the 2 main guys, and they were fighting, and then they screwed up and got into a grapple, and you saw that neither of them were really good at grappling, and they were just throwing blind punches trying to break the grapple.
Yeah.
Like I feel like this show really emphasizes people's strengths in their fighting styles.
Yeah, that's what I like because like Jin's all about kicky boy. He's a kicker. Yeah, of sorts.
Honestly, my wife and I are so conflicted about that guy. I love him. I think he's one of the best main characters I've seen in a long time. My wife says he seems forced and fake.
He's just Goku and Tai from Digimon put together.
I know, and I love it.
I like Kai. I mean Koku. I mean Goku. And yeah, I don't. I've never seen Digimon. I'm tired, guys. It's been a while. It's been a long week.
So yeah, God of High School's getting good. What else am I watching?
I just want to say, because I want to be the contrarian about God of High School. I think it's fine, but the weird the weird way it's the plot structured kind of sucks.
I'm so mad at what happened in episode 6. I got so mad.
So
I hate like for example, one of the characters, the guy who looks kind of like Saitama with hair, he is constantly bullied by a group of bullies. Meanwhile, he's part of like one of the most widely publicized tournaments to exist, and they're just walking up to him like, "What you gonna do about it?" And he's like, Bro, look at the TV! How do you not know this man can eat you?
Yeah.
This man will destroy you and everything you love.
I actually like that scene, though, because it's like, that's like the second or third time that happens of like them picking on him and stuff, and it's like, he can't fucking take it anymore. He snaps. Like, fuck, shut up.
But then there's also like the one episode where in between 2 rounds of the tournament, a character just decides to get married.
That one's dumb.
That was
really
actually, in my opinion, relatively well.
I mean, here's the thing: the guy who was just forced in there to be a cultist man for the sake of happening. He's dumb. I appreciate what it did to kind of understand Mira and her motivations, but they could have done it in a more interesting way, I think.
That should have been a character arc that started in that episode and ended like 2 or 3 episodes later.
That would have been fine. Because I don't know, dude. I liked the episode, but it felt very like dumb. I still enjoyed it though.
Can I just do my weekly screw Funimation shout out? Like how much I hate Funimation. Do we have to?
Sure.
Well, here's the thing. I actually remember talking to my wife a year ago or 2 years ago and being like, man, I'm so glad that I make a decent enough income that I can support these production companies and I can buy a Crunchyroll subscription and I can pay for anime legally. And lately, I've just been realizing that even acquiring anime legally does very little to help the anime industry.
Yes.
Because Crunchyroll pays translators only $80 an episode, and it doesn't matter the word count. It's $80. So if they're subbing an episode of Goddery, they're paying for 30 hours of work. If they're subbing an episode of One Piece, they're paying for an hour and a half of work.
In that case, the One Piece dudes are getting paid fucking good.
But it's still only $80.
Yeah,
and then, like, Funimation, on the other hand, actively, like, censors, alters, and destroys artistic intent. And, I don't know if you guys have been noticing this, they've been buying the second seasons of shows.
Yeah.
So, Love is War?
Like, Love is War got fucking taken by Funny, and they don't have season 1, but they have season 2.
Yeah, and they literally did that because season 1 did so well. Like, it's weird. Actually makes me angry.
That is really stupid Yankee to consumer, to buy a second season of a show you don't have the first season of.
No, they did it because, like, they knew that people were going to be like,
I know why they did it. It's just, like, it's really stupid and anti-consumer to, like, do that, to literally make you buy another fucking service. Doesn't matter. Who cares? Like, companies being bad, fucking news to me, am I right? Yeah, I don't know.
I hate Funny, so I'm just reiterating that I hate Funny.
Yeah. Most people
I also hate jokes. Jokes are bad and they should be canceled.
Yeah, Funny's bad. No more Funny. We're canceling Funny.
Can we talk about the fact that they added a social distancing joke?
That's not even, like, the worst joke they added in their fucking, in their sub. Like,
well, and I think one of the things that actually aggravates me, and this is probably the fact that if you work for a big company and you represent that company to some extent, you probably shouldn't do that on your Twitter. But, like, people who deal with the localization are like, yeah, we're totally altering this, and there's nothing you weebs can do about it. We're like, we're your core demographic?
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Like, I mean, in some cases, like, it's just reactionary weebs complain. Like, for example, with the Zombieland Saga is a really great example where they were complaining that a character who is trans vocalized that they were trans, and it had people.
Wait, who's trans?
The Lily is trans.
Wait, is Lily the
little girl?
Little girl. She's
not trans. She just has a high testosterone count for a little girl.
You know what? That's kind of true, though. That's a progressive stance to take, Moth.
No, like, she was a little girl, and she started growing facial hair and had a heart attack. And that's actually something that women deal with growing up. Like, if you're a girl, by the way, and you grow a little bit of lip hair, or you get a little bit of hair under your neck, you're still beautiful.
That's pretty
you just have to pluck it. And tons of women get that, so don't feel bad.
Moth, there was jokes about having a detachable zombie penis.
What?
Did you watch the show?
I don't know how you missed this.
I didn't have Twitter when that episode came out.
It's in the show.
She was a little girl.
Yes.
Yeah, little girls can be trans.
What? No, she was a little girl.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so you're agreeing with me. She's a little girl. Okay.
Once a boy.
No, she's a little girl.
Yes.
Wow, this is very progressive of you, Moth. I'm amazed. This is very.
I don't understand what you guys are doing.
She is a little girl, but she wasn't always a little girl.
No, she was a human at one point, but now she's a zombie.
Yes,
I do agree that women aren't human, but that's besides the point.
What are you guys talking about?
I don't. It's literally in the show. It's not like subtle.
This isn't subtext. Like
they say it.
Yeah, no,
it's literally text, and that's what weebs are mad about.
She was stressed, which raised her testosterone levels, and she started growing facial hair.
Yeah, she saw that she had facial hair in a moment where she was like, "I'm going to be young
it's
forever,"
confirmed by
and then had a heart attack and died.
I don't understand what is going on.
It's confirmed by the people making the show. What's not to get? I don't. Whatever.
I don't understand.
Not even by the people making the show. The author, like the OG, is like, yeah.
Anyway,
I don't. Okay, whatever.
Everybody, go watch a cool show called God of Man.
And then after you're done with that, and you want something with a little more meat to the bone, a little more substance, watch
God of Man. Decadence. God of High School?
Yeah. Same thing.
And then let's not have theological discussions in the podcast.
I don't understand. You know what? As long as Funimation doesn't get Golden Kamuy Season 3, I don't care.
Are they making this Season 3?
Not only are they going to get Season 3, but they'll cancel Season 1 and Season 2. And just
yeah, they're going to retroactively destroy it from the internet.
Did I tell you guys about the fact that apparently the manga is so messed up that they actually have to like pick and choose what arcs they put in the anime?
I can believe it. There's a fucking panel from the manga where a dude fucks a bear. I can believe that.
He has been having sex with a lot of animals. It's just the bear that kills him.
How progressive. Oh, he dies. That's unfortunate for him.
Yeah, he dies with his penis stuck in a bear.
That makes sense.
But yeah, everyone, you should watch Decadence. That's a good show.
Yes, watch Decadence.
Yeah, actually, I don't have anything negative to say about Decadence.
Is this like the least contentious season of anime of all time?
Because there's nothing on.
Ron, did you just say, is this the least contentious season of anime in a season that has Uzaki-chan?
Aside from the fucking dumb Uzaki shit, no one cares, though. This podcast doesn't care about that.
Yeah, I legitimately believe the Uzaki drama is engineered. Because
100%.
otherwise, it's just a mediocre slice of life.
Yes, that's all it is. That's
it's
all it has to
literally
be.
A bunch of culture vultures who are out finding something to be mad about so they can own SJWs online. But
Yeah.
No,
I'm
it's
an
the
SJW.
opposite.
I don't care.
SJW culture vultures trying to find something to crap on weebs about.
Thanks for coming to the show, everybody. We're going to come back in 2 weeks with some stuff about One Piece, and we'll talk to you then, I think. That'll be a good time.
Sounds good to me.
Okay,
all right, guys.
No more Uzaki. I don't want to fucking hear about dumb Uzaki-chan. She's a dumb bitch. Shut the fuck up, okay? If you add me on Twitter about Uzaki, you're getting, like, instant block.
I don't care either way. But yeah, so that has been our episode. Mike, anything you want to add?
I like big boobs.
I do too.
I do too, but that doesn't matter, because she's stupid.
All right,
Yes.
so follow Frog King on Twitter, follow Mike on Twitter at Dermothman, and follow Mothman on Twitter at Dermothman.
Yeah, I was going to say. He has, yeah, you guys share Twitter.
Yeah,
Follow me for political dreams and really bad memes.
I like
what?
talking about fighting games.
I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I've actually like just even stopped getting offensive on my Twitter. Like,
were you ever that offensive? Not really.
For a little bit, my wife kept yelling at me, so I stopped.
Maybe like a couple things. Didn't you make like a what the fuck's it called? The disease where you shake a lot.
Yeah. The fact that I was talking about having seizures and being good in bed because of it.
Oh yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, but that's not really offensive. That's just stupid and lowbrow.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like that offensive. I don't think. Offensive would be start doing like race bait shit, but whatever.
I have to like consistently, because there are I wanted to post something the other day about like Ram 1500 owners, Ram truck 1500 owners.
There's this meme I saw a while back of just like it's like Ram owners versus like Ford owners, and all like it's like making fun of like Ford owners for being gay or something. That
okay. No, it's so here's the thing. Ex-military, and I go to military bases all the time. No, we're extending the episode by 3 minutes. I
also like Death Grips.
I have so E1 through E3, which is enlisted ranks 1 through 3, regardless of what branch of the military, it's universal. E1 through 9 is the enlisted ranks. Those people, so E1 through E3, the joke is that they always buy a Mustang.
Okay.
In my opinion, E5 through E7 always buy Ram 1500s, and they have horrible credit, and they're ass backwards on their freaking payments.
This is the most like Facebook post thing I've ever heard in my life.
No, it is. Here's the thing. I have to drive on the highway, and I like the Anchorage Highway, or the highway that runs from Anchorage to Soldotna. It's about a 2.5 hour drive.
Yeah.
I constantly am flooring it at like 85 miles an hour on a breakneck 55, 65 mile an hour highway. And guaranteed, the only guy who's ever going to be tailgating me drives a Ram 1500. Every time. And it's gotten to the point where I'm debating installing like one-way mirrors in the back of my truck, just so that like when they blast their headlights at me, because they will always blast their headlights at me if I'm not going 98 miles an hour on this highway, it just reflects, blinds them, and kills them.
I'll never understand cars and people's visions of them.
But like E5, E7 drivers will always buy a Ram 1500. I can drive through a military base, any military base in the United States, and go to the enlisted houses and look at like the slightly nicer houses with the fattest wives, and it's always an E5 through an E7.
I'll take your word for it, man. I'm so fucking lost right now. Like I have no idea what you're fucking saying. This is like,
anybody who works for the military who's
like,
listening to this episode knows exactly what I'm talking about, so I don't want to hear it.
Okay. I'm feeling right now the way you felt when I was talking about fucking, like, I don't know, like, poggers is the first time. Like, you just didn't, you kept saying, like, what the fuck is poggers?
Well, that'll be it. Mike, you ready?
We're just gonna...
Yeah, we're done.
This episode's such a fucking mess. Alright. I'm gonna stop.
See you next
recording.
time.
No, I'm not gonna see. I have no eyes. Fuck you.